Welcome to the 41st Funsie Games. I'm your host, Ben. How's everyone doing today?
Is that
Ben
a
of
Hunger Games
Kenjamin?
reference?
Yes. Hold on. We have to restart. I hear someone echoing.
Is it me?
Check. Hey. Check.
I hear it.
I don't
too.
know.
I am not hearing the echo.
But like,
so I'm
just
worried
very, very tiny.
Check.
that it's me.
Hey. Check. Might be you, Jefferson. Are your ear pods really loud? Yeah, just because it'll. Oh yeah, so is Jefferson. There you go. Beats.
I just got a new laptop, and this is my laptop camera, and it looks way better than the camera I spent money and bought, and so now
It does
I'm
look
so
good.
sad. Yeah. So now
It does look good.
Sad. Yeah. Depression.
Beats by Dre. Can you hear us?
Now I can, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. Sweet.
Check.
All right. We'll just pick off. I'll just edit this.
I mean, we could just restart.
Okay.
as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. Let's restart. 3, 2, 1. Ha! The intro is here and here to stay. Welcome everyone. How's everyone doing today? 41st Hunger Games, Funsie Games. I don't know. We had to record this again, but this is the official start of the episode, and we are so excited to bring on a fantastic guest, a mover and shaker in the disc golf media world.
A podcaster himself.
Yes,
sir.
before us. He had his own podcast, and I think they revitalized it. If you don't know who we're talking about Jefferson over at the disc golf world. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Oh, for the listeners, Ben's coming in clutch with the disc golf world hat.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
one of my it was still one of my favorite hats. I think it's so clean. I love the logo and just I don't know, the white, it just fits me perfectly. But, you know, I don't know, I just cycle hats a lot. So I was wearing that hat pretty often when I first got it. But before we get into it, how are you guys doing?
I'm good. I am dandy. I'm back home from Nashville. Nashville was absolutely crazy, a slop fest. But we can talk about that another time.
Oh, maybe at the end. We need to talk because we saw you on coverage a few times, like with your spork legs.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was getting
definitely
pictures
wanna-
of people roasting me. It just said being like, "Yo, I see you."
I wanna talk about that because it was really cool. Also with Austin Turner at the top, especially because it's in another round. I feel like him in another round are like this, so it was pretty crazy that he just showed up for this event specifically. Really,
Dude's a stud for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Me, I'm doing great. I'm going to Denver this week to Trash Panda HQ. So we'll be filming some videos there. So I'm excited for that. Should be fun.
let's go, dude. That should be awesome.
Enough about us.
The real man of the hour. Dun dun dun. Dun dun.
Hey,
Dun, dun, dun. Jefferson.
What's up, Jefferson?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
You were only half of the disc golf world, though, right?
Yes.
The other half is your uncle. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese. What's his
Shout
real name?
out.
Quinn.
That is
I don't
his
know if
real
I'm
name,
supposed
dude.
to give that
Yeah,
out,
you
but
can't
yeah.
reveal
Oh,
that. Is an
okay.
exclusive. I can't believe that. I didn't even know his real name.
Oh, he just
Dude.
Funsie
government.
exclusive. There we go. If you're listening,
Quinn.
now you know.
So,
It wasn't-
what part of the disc golf world are you? Are you like the Eastern Hemisphere, Western? Like,
Hey, good joke.
You can call
Thank
him.
you.
I'm Wisconsin. He's Illinois. There you go.
Bet.
Oh, you guys live in different states?
Yeah, but we're like on the border. It's still like 20 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
That's
So
funny.
pretty much in the same spot, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, to start off, kind of just like explain what the disc golf world is, what you guys do. Just like give an overview. So like if people don't know who you guys are, which I would be kind of shocked, they could have a idea.
Yeah, the way that I could just describe it is it's like professional disc golf news. If you want a fast-paced way to get everything you need in a week or the weekend, just Disc Golf World's got you covered for the most part.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I found you guys, oh, man, I don't know how long ago, but last season I would watch every like news thing. I think you guys do a really good job of making thumbnails that I like see and I'm like, oh shoot, what? Like I need to watch this video. I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah.
And then I watch it and I get whatever the thumbnail's saying, but I also get a lot more information. And it seems like you guys have the connections that you need to have in order to get the news right when it's breaking and like be on the front side of it. So, listeners, if you haven't checked out the Disc Golf World, you definitely should. They have a lot of good news and coverage.
Yeah, Jefferson, I was curious. How does someone get started in something like this? Because like Josh said, there are a bunch, like you have so many connections now at this point, and like how do you? I assume it's just like obviously you're passionate about the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and then that one thing leads to another. But yeah, please share.
Well, this was not like a quick thing. I think I started making disc golf content, posting on YouTube in like 2017.
JK Disc Golf. He was a
Yeah.
legend. Honestly, we're too new to the game to understand the legacy you left behind.
Well, I mean, there was no disc golf YouTube or anything. Like there used to be like nothing.
Yeah.
So I would just do like what kind of is now. But the thing about I'm jealous about this time is there was not like the road mics or there wasn't any of that. So content just wasn't as fun to do. I wish I had all that stuff from the jump. But so like when I was in high school, I did disc golf content of like vlogs in the course, all of like that type of stuff. And then when I got to college, I tried to do it, and then I just wasn't really about it anymore. Like I was into other things. So I still played disc golf, and then I wanted to still be connected in like the professional side because that's really the only sport I really like to follow, and it was a connection back to my two uncles. So we had like a really bad podcast for like 3 years where we just stayed up to date with disc golf. It was kind of just more fun to talk about it with somebody. And then since I was 16 years old, I always had like the dream job. When anyone asked me like, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to live in my minivan. I'm going to follow the Disc Golf Pro Tour and do. I originally said I was going to be like a social media manager for whatever. So that's what I went to school for. So I graduated. And then the next month, I just went in the minivan. I followed like the 3 events for the 3 weeks. And then a month later, I Swiss Cheese quit his job, and we followed the Disc Golf Pro Tour for 3.5 months. And that was like the back half of 2023. And then we went on tour, that's how I like to call it, with like 5,000 subscribers, and we came out with like 15 at the end of the 3 months. And we literally that's when we started doing what we do now, is when we left for our first little tour stretch in 2023. And then that's where the connections came from. That's because we lived next to people, and we just like were around all the time living that life. So you're just going to make friends.
Yeah,
Totally.
I can be a testament to Jefferson's grind. If you see behind him, Northeast Disc Golf Expo, he came 2 years ago, and I didn't realize this at the time. He was staying in his van in the parking lot. This year, I made sure he got accommodations. Now that I knew he was staying in the van, but yeah, and you blew a tire right on the way, and you still were able to make it in for the expo. Yeah, so that was always just kind of like a cool thing I've always admired about just that thing alone. Like just your effort. You drove all the way from Illinois to the expo, blew a tire right away, stayed in the van, and was still able to make it happen. And I obviously am very appreciative of the coverage you gave of the expos. I mean, it helps out a ton. Your videos are actually what I send to potential people not in disc golf, like to like either sponsor it or vend. Where I sent them those videos to show them like what it's all about, because I think you guys did a great job of just kind of like encapsulating all that. So I always appreciate that, and I appreciate when you come to the expos, and I got your hotel each and every year.
Hell
Promise.
Yeah. See, that's why you do the drive, because after that, it's like I got cool things after.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, right here, he got his own trading card at the expo, which let's talk about that. How cool was that, dude? That was
pretty
like
sick.
the coolest thing ever.
Shout out Ryan and Brixton,
Yeah,
the homies.
Dude, I want my own trading card. I need to get this guy's number and message him.
Dude,
What were you gonna say, Sajko?
Wait,
yeah,
did you?
before we
real
get off the
quick.
topic. Okay, go
I got
ahead.
mine, Jay Millie. Did you know?
Ooh. Yeah, I knew you had one, dude.
So there's
we're
a whole
slacking.
there's a whole set. I'm gonna get these graded, and Big Jeff, he's gonna be a 10 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
All right, go ahead, Sack. Sorry.
So it sounds like it's very DIY origins of the brand, where it's just kind of like we're just gonna send it and just kind of see what happens. Do you think more people should try to do something like that, as long as they have somewhat of the means to do it and just send it? Or if you went back, would you try to do things differently?
No, yeah, I would just send it personally, but you gotta have a plan. You can't like there was a vision and stuff, and we prepared. But at the end of the day, if you have the passion, I think you figure it out along the way.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that's how you like got the connections as well, because you're like, I mean, we're here, we might as well just like make the most of it.
100%.
Sweet.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, I feel like I know what you're gonna say, but what is the long-term goal of the disc golf world? Like, what spot in disc golf do you guys want to fill specifically?
Man, yeah, if you knew what I was gonna say, that's wild, because I don't even know what I'm gonna say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I have like the sort of vision of like we want to be like the #1 news source. We want to eventually. I would really like to have, like, because the news thing wasn't really what like I wanted to do. It's kind of just what we fell into. That was what was doing the best, because I really liked at the beginning of the vision was doing like small documentary style stuff. And that would be behind hopefully a DGN paywall where they would buy the rights to it or something. Or now that we have a platform, we can put it behind Patreon and ask for that stuff. So that was where I would like to do, but it was a hard pivot once it was like fast-paced weekly content, which I really do enjoy doing. Like that is something I fell in love with. But it's just now at the pivot point of what do I do now that I'm back home? It doesn't seem like we're going to be on tour to do stuff like that anymore. And I'm in part of my life where like I'm still living in my parents' house. So like I know I want to eventually move out, do that stuff, and I don't know if right now Disc Golf World is going to fund all that, so I got to like figure out what I'm doing with another job. So it's just like a really weird point of my life where it's like, all right, I gotta be an adult kind of thing, but I really want to make this work.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, like, when I first got into the sport, I remember being like, oh, where do I find these contracts? Like, where are players going? Like, I wanted an ESPN for disc golf, where I could see when, like a Shams or like a Woj Bomb and stuff like that. And I feel like you guys have kind of filled that niche in disc golf, which I think is very important. I think Foundation tried to do it at one point, but they decided not to do that, I guess. But like, I feel like that's where I see you guys fitting in. And so far what I've seen from it is you guys doing a very great job of, respecting people's privacy, not going too far, knowing where the line is, where you can say like, this is happening, this is not happening, what to share and what not to share. So that's kind of what I thought maybe you would say, because I think that's a very valuable spot to be in our sport, especially as it grows. And then, my take on it, which you may or may not want, is like you said that you're interested in documentaries. Well, like, I think it makes a lot of sense to, the main thing is you guys are the Woj Bomb and all the disc golf news and everything. And then once a quarter, you drop a sick doc, or like you said, like still do the Patreon supported documentary style stuff. But just, the main part of it is the news. Like, I feel like if you watch Colin and Samir, they're like a creator podcast kind of thing. I think their passion is the documentaries they make. for the most part, all they do is like podcasting where they interview creators and talk to them. And then like once every 6 months or once a quarter, they do like a documentary on a creator or something they're interested on or whatever. Like that's where I see you guys fitting in very well. I think everyone in the space right now is feeling the, like, we can't make a full-time career out of this yet. But I think, like I always say, like it has the potential to get there, and I'm sure you see that as well. So I don't know. Well, what do you think? Do you think that makes sense? Like, is that kind of what you guys are thinking as well?
I think so too, because I think when we do the documentary style stuff, I don't think it's gonna get the views that are necessarily gonna match up to what we do now. Because even I see it when, like, I can have a title and I know it's gonna get at least 30, or if it's gonna be like, this is gonna be a tough one. So I think it would be harder to do something with the documentaries, because the way that I want to do it is, not that I know people aren't gonna care, but I know so many people aren't gonna care as much as what I'm doing for it. So it does need to be like a special type thing. But yeah, we gotta continue doing the, I don't know the people you said, like the Woj and I'm assuming there are other people that drop news and stuff like that. But my concern with that is it was so much easier when we were on tour, because you feel like a friend. It's not like all I got this off season was, there was like the people we were really close with were cool sharing information, and the amount of people that would come out and be like, I have stuff, but you're not going to expose me, right? I'm like, obviously not. And then they would just ghost from there. Well, not ghost, but I feel like they felt like a type of way of like, oh, I got to keep it secret. So, but I think hopefully the relationships are made, and the sources that we really like our content, that like to see that stuff, are going to continue sharing. So that's not stopping.
That makes a lot of sense. I feel like, and you probably have this mindset too, but like once you've proven yourself, you're kind of like locked in. So I'm sure you have those people that trust you enough to like continuously share information now that you've established a relationship and have proven you're not just going to be like, oh, this person said this, and they're like, what the heck? Why did you just say that I said that? I was supposed to be anonymous or whatever. But I can totally understand. I guess we can get into it now. So you guys this year, the Pro Tour did not give you your media credentials for the 2025 season, which you were on tour all 2024 season. Do you want to kind of, a lot of it, right?
I think it was 14 events.
Okay, that's a lot of it.
Yeah. That might be all.
Yeah.
We don't go west, we don't go to Europe. Everything else.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can you kind of walk us through what went down with that, if you're comfortable? And what you're planning to do this season. You're still pumping out videos, and I honestly, props to you. Like, if I didn't know that you weren't on tour this season, like I would have no clue. Like I just watched one of your most recent videos where you talked about some of the MCO stuff, and like it was just a regular Disc Golf World video, which was great, which is exactly what I expect, So
yeah,
just walk us through that and, feelings behind it and what you guys are planning to do this season.
Well, yeah, planning to do, nothing stopping. Like we've done like back home content before. That's not like a new thing for us. It's just I when I'm editing too, and when I watch back our videos, I can tell that it's different, because the thing missing most is the videos that we take. And part of me maybe knew that it wasn't doing a whole lot, but to me, I was like, you're seeing different players, and that was huge for like a disc golf fan, in my opinion, because it was like you get to become fans of more people. But the walking through of like what happened is, I don't really know what happened, because filled out the form as we did for the past 2 years, and nothing's changing, it felt. So they just denied us based on not going to enough events, I think it was, and that was basically it, which felt really weird to me, because there's other people that go to less events than us and still got approved. So it felt like maybe that wasn't like genuine. That's how maybe it was, but like that's how I feel a little bit, because you can't go on a podcast and say it was nothing about their content, and then it seems like it was all about our content, because then we weren't breaking any rules. Or that's like the where I feel weird about. If we were breaking any rules while we were on tour, it wasn't like we were hiding or couldn't get to us. Like when the one issue was brought up, I got a call from Jeff Spring in a matter of minutes, and the issue was solved, and that issue wasn't even our fault. But So I think moving forward, we're just gonna hopefully not tone back what we say, but maybe be a little bit more careful on the overall topics of I don't know how people describe it as like edgy or as we attack the pro tour
Yeah, I
because
gotcha.
that's where when it was a sort of difficult thing, not difficult because I got over it real fast, but social media gets me fired up sometimes when it was getting shared everywhere where, I had a disc golf fanatic taking the post of like my tweet and then posting it everywhere. And then the comments would be like, well, they're talking shit all the time and they're just mad and and I'm like, man, like I get how you can be perceived as we're just, trash talking. But at the end of the day, I feel like we're providing honest criticism that I would defend anything that they would bring up to be like, this was insulting, or maybe it was not the nicest way to direct something, but I think it's true, or I think I could back it up with if you want to have a conversation, and we never were able to have that conversation. So it just feels weird to it was just given other reasons why we were kicked off tour that didn't, I don't want to say it that way because that seems more petty, but weren't given media passes because of our content when everything publicly said was it was not about our content. I think that was bothers me the most.
Right. Well, do you want to kind of talk about how you balance relationships, maybe with brands or entities in disc golf or even players, with like delivering good media, and maybe that has changed over the last like few months. Yeah, maybe like before and after.
Yeah, well, I mean, players are super easy. I feel like even the little jabs, as you can say, that might be like a little joke here and there. I think everyone got to the understand like, okay, this is just the style because everyone's gonna get it every once in a while. Even if you're a content creator, if you're Jeff Springer player, there's gonna be like a little joke here and there. So I think when we saw it later on tour, we almost got more like people coming up to us being like, "Oh, that was funny." I was like, "That was about my friend," and they like thought it was funny. So that was cool to see like them. Manufacturers, we get a lot of talk I see about people because I'm not one to shy away from being like, "Oh, Prodigy sucks," but I feel like people can like see through like I'm joking. Hopefully, maybe not, but like I've seen a lot of comments where like, "Oh, they don't want you because you're making fun of these." Where it's like, nah, almost every manufacturer has reached out to us to just either say something, give us information. Like Prodigy was like the first company to ever just send us stuff that they were gonna do like a day before. They're like, "Hey, just so you know, this is coming out tomorrow. Don't say anything." And I all the time talk about like, "Hey, I will never throw these discs in my life," but those relationships are actually a lot easier to handle too because I heard a lot about of Discraft being like they're probably so pissed at you for talking about the Ricky and the Ezra thing.
Yeah,
Bob
right.
Julia, the first at like the expo was like, "Give me a hug, this is awesome." I'm like, "Dope, great."
Did
That's
you
awesome.
know that like ahead of time really that they were like kind of a fan? Or oh yeah, so in that moment you're like, let's go, dude. So like I'm
Kind of,
kind of
yeah.
on the right path, right? Well, that's I would imagine that's kind of like an unspoken thing. Like the thing that you guys are doing in disc golf, I think is incredibly necessary. Like someone has to be delivering these news and just be like saying it how it is. But I think a lot of people are afraid, especially in disc golf, like this tiny sport where it's just like very community feel. And anyways, that's a compliment is what I'm trying to give you because someone has to do it. You're doing it well, and obviously like the views and everyone like it shows. So I like what you're doing, and so obviously
Appreciate
so
it.
do many others.
Yeah. I like it too that you don't need to like it. There's so many comments that people don't like us, but they have to continue watching. So I'm like, all right, cool. I know we're doing something right then.
Dude.
Yeah.
You
And
you can hate me, but you gotta watch
I,
it.
I will say no one's safe from the disc golf world. Even I've been called out. So
Yeah, yeah.
so but it was fun. It was funny. It wasn't anything serious. It was just like you said earlier, like protecting the people's names that are like, oh, don't say anything. So that I thought I had to protect your name when Ricky was going to Discraft, but turns out you told me like, no, just tell
Just send
people my so from now on, whenever I have Jeff's source, I'll be like, this is what Jeff told me. So
exactly.
yeah, but
It validates it, in my
yeah,
opinion.
I'll say the disc golf for it, obviously, because that's people know. Obviously, you guys are, and I think you already are like the Woj and the Shams, like Jay Milley's talking about of disc golf, because so far everything you've received has been correct. Like obviously everyone in the industry receives something. Like I knew every move that was going on other than Ricky. Until I was hearing things, but then when you told it to me at the expo, I was like, okay, if Jefferson's saying it, then it's probably more so true. So it's kind of like you're that reliable source because so far you haven't been wrong. At least I don't think so. I mean, I definitely know you guys like double, triple check and make sure. Whereas like for me, like that's also why I was kind of like I wasn't sure because I still wasn't sure if Ricky was actually going because I just heard it from you and like some inklings, so I wasn't 100% sure. But you guys definitely are like probably checking it 5 times over to make sure like okay, this is happening. Talk us through that, I guess, just through like the kind of like that sourcing and stuff like
the
that.
like journalism aspect of it being like okay.
Are you afraid you're ever gonna do a incorrect move, or is it just like you are like making sure like this is 1,000% happening?
I think there's always the concern because as soon as you get like one bad, one wrong, I think you're gonna see a lot of backlash. That was like a slight concern for the Ricky one because it was so big, but we were told rumors of Ricky leaving or getting whatever with House of Discs since like Music City Open of 2024.
Oh wow, yeah.
Dang.
So I knew he was leaving like off season, but that's crazy to hear all the way back then.
Yeah. So then it was like, and then especially very early on when we're told things, it's like don't say anything. I'm one of X people that know this, so they'll know it come from me. So then we like kind of you have to work conversations where it's like you're seeing similar topics and you're like, I've kind of heard this maybe, and then you get it from another person. And then eventually towards the off season, it was just some people were like, hey, this is literally happening, just so you know. So that was cooler because it was just relationships from the tour. But I think early on in the off season, we kind of jumped the gun way sooner just because we were like, we're told this information's gotta be right.
You want to get it out, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that you could possibly say we were wrong with this off season is there was a video where it was Kyle Klein leaving Discmania rumor, and that one was just like a rumor we heard, but it was like one of two things. It was either he's going to leave or he's going to get a huge salary cut, and the salary cut did happen. So like we're half right, but that's like a lot less like public and people care about it. But so that after that one we were like, all right, we should probably like wait a little sooner to like hear a little bit more than just like our two close people. But if we're hearing it from like our close sources and then like a few others, it was like, all right, this gotta be right. And then you just cross your fingers that you're right. And for the most part, we were good.
Then just send it, baby.
I waited too long on the germ one. We knew germ, and I was like, I just don't want to be wrong about this because it's so out of pocket. I just don't want to like that would suck.
Yeah.
That and the Ricky one, I was like, oh my god, if we get this wrong.
Yeah, cause I'm with you in like I understand like because I've been told like for the germ thing, I was told by like a good source. Like a really good source. So I knew Jerem was leaving for like a month, but the guy was like, don't tell anyone. So like I had to just be like, yes, I know the information. Like I'm talking about circumstance. Yes, I know, but I can't say it at all. So it's kind of like it's I guess it's tricky to maneuver. Obviously with you guys, people are probably telling you like no one's gonna tell you anything without expecting it's gonna be out, or else they wouldn't tell you. But like that's why these off seasons kind of can get so tricky because you never want to be the guy that like it comes back to you and then people are like, all right, like no one's telling you anything ever again. Obviously this doesn't relate to you because like
Hopefully not.
people are telling you for the reason of getting out there. I was just saying me personally, I can understand why people are like, don't tell anyone that I said this because that's all I hear every time. So that's why when you told me that Ricky's going to Discraft, I assumed it was just like, don't tell anyone because like that's what every single person tells me. Same with Sajko. Like Sajko was told some things that were private. And he wouldn't even tell us. So it's just like, but I kind of love that about the disc golf community. It's like these things get out, but it's like people have a mutual understanding and respect. It's like, you know, you don't want to blow up this whole thing, you know, on these people unless like you're the disc golf world, the media outlet.
I think it drums up a little more hype too. Like there's
Yeah,
some
no,
that are gonna do some
Yeah.
huge things.
I'm
but
with you. I'm with you. I think, because I talked about this on Stagger Sense. I think the coolest thing, all right, this is what I said. You either go one of two ways. You intentionally leak it, like to you guys. Like I feel like you guys are the best intentional leakers. But kind of give you maybe like some information, like, you know, like maybe like, so you're talking about it, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like still speculation and stuff like that. And that's a great way to do it. It's just like, this is where I'm going, and then people start talking and get it built up. But there's a certain threshold where that has to be like announced, if that makes sense. Like the Ricky thing was really exciting for like the first 3 weeks in January. And then, or like first few weeks, I don't know when he officially announced. I think it was like February, because it was after the expo.
It was late.
And then after that, it was just kind of like, all right, like whatever. Like he's going to Discraft, like because eventually it came out. But in the first, if you're talking about it and then they plan on announcing it like 2 weeks after, that's like the boom time to really just get everyone hyped, to get they're like, what? This is crazy. But, or you do the other way, where it's just like, you don't tell anyone, and you like keep your lips sealed. And I think like
and it
Germ
hits
was
hard.
Yeah, and it hits her hard. I think Germ was like a better example of this year, where like no one really, other than like really in the industry people, no one really knew where he was. So it was like, what? So I think that there's like two ways to do it, where it's just like kind of like the hyping it up, or just like holding it. I think it'd be so cool if Ricky didn't tell a soul, didn't tell anyone, and no one knew what it was other than like you know, Discraft, and just showed up to Florida Open with like like a cloak on, like in the
cool.
bag, teeing off Ricky Wysocki, and then like takes off
He
the
takes off
jacket
his
or whatever, says Discraft. I feel like that would have been electric. But the key is you have to keep it quiet, which is, I feel like, is also so hard in disc golf too. It's just like, you know, once you tell one person, or like a few people, it's like there's a, you know, it's hard to, you know, keep it. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think there's two cool ways to do it. Those are the only two ways. But yeah, if I were to sign, I think getting in like the media is probably like the best, because it really gets hyped. But there's just a certain deadline when you need to like announce before people are like, all right, like
they're over it.
Yeah, exactly. But enough about that. That was a random tangent.
Well,
You got any-
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I got you. So you kind of talked about what the disc golf world looks like currently. Did you enjoy life on the road when you were doing it? And do you also
Yes.
feel like you've kind of adjusted to the current change yet?
Yeah, 100%. I love the life on the road. I think there is a point where I don't want to do that my like life forever. Like there gets
Totally.
a point where I don't want to live in a minivan with my uncle anymore. Where like I'm just
That's
Yeah, when you
tired.
put it like that.
Yeah, so and like straight up, it was not like a minivan that was decked out like the pros that are made it cool and stuff.
Yeah,
like, it
it's like
literally
a
was
real
just straight
minivan.
up
Yeah.
minivan, like air mattress in the back for Swiss. I rolled down the passenger seat, and that's where we slept. And we had like a fridge. That was our life for 3.5 months, two times of that. So it was, what was the question? You want to, how was
Yes.
it? What was
So yeah, I was wondering if, well, the second part was like, do you feel like you've adjusted yet to the change of this year?
It's definitely weird because I was just talking about this with someone too. This is the longest I've been not in a minivan for like 2 years now. So it's been like weird just in life, just to be like, oh yeah, I have like a bed and I like can go do that. I'm talking to my parents
Yeah.
and stuff like that's just like kind of weird to get. But I'm officially like, all right, like this is kind of how life is gonna go. But making content, it's kind of a lot easier in like the scheme of like I don't have to sit in like a Panera and just like be editing. I have all
Yeah.
my stuff and all that. Like that's cool. But part of me also was like, when you live in a minivan, you want to be in it so little that like as soon as you wake up and like the sun like is shining on your face, you're like, all right, let's go work now. So it was like very productive because I would just, as soon as Panera was open, we're going there, and I was like, all right, edit today's video. And then it was cool because it was like, all right, what are we gonna do for the rest of the day? Oh, let's go to the course and just walk around. And like, that's how I feel like I got a lot of information. And it sucks that we are missing out on some of that because we literally would just be talking to pros during their practice round, and they'd be like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I do like this is cool. And I'm like, oh, it's so much better that you're telling me this because you are the one that's supposed to know the information because you're the professional and you're the opinion that matters and just some guy talking on the internet. So like that is all lost, but at the end of the day it's still like so much easier. And like just like
you're trading some conveniences for others, right? Yeah, I mean that totally makes sense.
Yeah, I remember I was at a few tour stops, obviously, and I always said hi to you. You were always just around, dude. Like you were just always around. I would see, and like I use DGC specifically. It's like, what up, Jeff? I'll see you in the morning chat, and then like 2 hours later, it's just you trotting, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
trotting back into the vendor village and just like hanging out. How do you feel like that has like kind of impacted you? Do you feel like it's like other than being on the ground, like talking to players and stuff like that? How do you think that has impacted like media wise? Do you feel like you're still able to get all the shots you need and all the stories you need, or do you feel like it's kind of been a hindrance?
It's been, I think for like when Jay Milley was saying he couldn't tell when we were on road, I think like that's all fine. But there's so many like extra things towards the end. I feel like we were starting to get like used to. Like we always would then have like a preview video that talked about course changes, and we could pull from the press conference videos that we were able to make because we were there. And then there was, even at USDGC, I realized like I'm on the practice round so much that I can get to all this like just random bonus footage. It was like almost like a clip show of professional disc golfers that I like doing because of just seeing personality. So I feel like that is all missing, and selfishly that's all for the disc golf world. But I also feel like there was that like almost thing for pros could use us to make content if they didn't like doing that. If they were really the type of person that's like, I just like to go throw, let me just throw, I don't want to do the social media thing, we could create that avenue where it's like, cool, just be featured on us, our thing a little bit, and fans that can catch that are like actually diehard fans can see your personality more for you not putting in any extra effort. Or if you see us every week talking about the practice rounds and talking about the course previews, and you are good at that and you want to have your input every week, there's another avenue that you can see personalities through just our videos instead of creating content. Because I think people don't realize how much it like tolls on people, and it's like actually work, especially when you're not good at it.
Dude,
you can't just
I
be like, go
applaud
do
you
it.
guys. I don't even understand how you do it. You guys grind Monday, Wednesday, Friday, scripted. Like, dude, I'm working on a video now, and it's just like an 18-hole thing, and like I've been on my editing grind again, but it's taken me a while. But it just basic cuts. You guys are doing like finding the pictures, finding the videos, and editing it together, and then the captions in certain ways. Like, dude, it's impressive.
It was just my life for so long. I just love doing it.
And
Totally.
I will say this because I know we had kind of like a talk 2 years ago at the expo. I will say this: I think you guys are just so valuable to a company. And personally, like I can just speak from my company, the Expos. Like the value you guys brought by just you've made 2 videos now is just like out of this world valuable, because it's a source outside of me that is telling you the real deal of what the Expo is and how it was and how it went and all the cool things that are going on there. And then it's reaching an audience that I don't have access to. So like if anyone is listening, any companies, anyone, like I don't know how you guys, like if you guys like work, like if companies are able to pay you to make a video on them, or I don't know how that works, but I will say, like, if whatever it is, like try and work with the disc golf world, because their videos are valuable. They are the pulse of disc golf. They are the culture. And if they're talking about you in a good way, in the bad way, then good luck.
Don't do bad things then.
If you're doing it in a good way, if it's in a good way, then like they are like kind of the, you know, the influence. And I from a firsthand experience, like I can, you know, it gives my expo more legitimacy. It's like this news outlet covered it and talked about it, and I can send it to whoever for people who don't understand really what's going on. It's like, this is what's going on. Like, and it's not for me, if that makes sense. It's like you guys are valuable, and I just want anyone out there to know, like,
Hit them up.
Partner up with the disc golf world.
Well, dude, how so now that you're kind of forced to change, how do you see your content progressing? On like, are there specific things that you knowingly change that maybe like viewers wouldn't normally see?
The one thing that yes, is our videos, like I said earlier, but it was so specific that I don't think people really realized how I was editing it. Where it from the beginning of the video, it would be hole 1, hole 2, hole 3, hole 4 of the entire course. So you got to see the variety, and every single time it was a different single player. So like that, again, to the point of everything our content we could do to try to show more players and show off personalities is what we try to do, because I think that is what we need in disc golf. You need more people to just be in love with more players, to create storylines that aren't just about winners and just create because you want to follow it. So I feel like it's like we got to figure out a way to tell that more. And I think that's been the hardest thing for me, because there's such limited content. It seemed like the first week everyone had a YouTube channel and they were going to start doing content, and now it's been dwindling and dwindling.
Oh yeah,
That's me, bro.
For the preview videos, it was cool because, like I said, we could film there on the course. We could talk to literally whoever we wanted. Now it's been like a bunch of people started doing them. Now I got to pull Ezra and Goose quotes every single week, and I feel bad because it's like they just talk bad about some holes, and I have to pull just those times. Then people are complaining about them being complaining. I'm like, well, sorry, like they're professionals. They can have opinions that aren't great.
yeah. Pump out more content, people.
For real, it helps out, and I think it helps out you like that. I think it discourages a lot of people too when you put out all this effort of creating the video, filming on your round when you didn't probably want to do it, and then it gets 1,000 views, and then you see like you have to get 4,000 watch hours to even start getting paid, and then it's like, why even do this? So I get it, but
Yeah, go ahead.
What I tried to do at the beginning of the season, like working with manufacturers, is I tried to like reach out and be like, hey, we will do like your team recaps at the end of every event. Like we're already there filming probably a bunch of your players, and then on Tuesdays, I really wanted to do Discraft because I felt like they would probably give us money for it. Unfortunately, they didn't. But I was like, imagine on Tuesdays if it was like, cool, now we're gonna touch on basically every elite series or elite player on your team and be like, all right, this is how they did, this is what was notable, have some interview clips of them, so you're seeing all of team Discraft, so you can fall in love with maybe someone who isn't in the limelight all that often, but you still are seeing like the Anthony Barella who can talk about like his event and stuff like that. And then I feel like if there was a Discraft recap every week in our style too, like it would still have Swiss and Jefferson's witty whatever jokes here and there making fun of people, but it would still like tell the story of team Discraft. And I think that would be a way to move forward in like the personalities and the storytelling. I don't know how I got there, but yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I think
Welcome to Funsie.
dude, I think
I love
that's
it.
such a good idea. And if I was a manufacturer, I'd have to be like a multi-million-dollar manufacturer, like, you know, the big five or whatever it is. But dude, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, even if it's a few $1,000s per month just to make like a Discraft recap, it's just like it helps the brand. Like you said, like these players need all the help they can get to grow their brand, even if they are YouTubers. Let's be honest. Like, you can be a YouTuber, but if you're not in other situations, covered in other ways, like it's just about, like, you know, reaching your audience. There's going to be some people that love the disc golf world that don't watch any of Ezra or Goose's practice rounds. So I think that is actually a great idea of just like a monthly recap or a weekly recap of how our team did, and just like I think that's a pretty good, and I think you should just keep pitching that, honestly. Like I think one company is going to be like, yeah, this makes sense, because and in turn, it makes sense for them because it helps their players out, but then it also helps them out. It's just one big funnel. It's like, okay, our players are doing well. We're going to talk about them every week. It's going to be on the forefront. Oh, Silver Saarinen throws this super cool proxy. Oh, what's that about? Like, stuff like that. So, I don't know.
I even broke it down and was like, I'll create either like shorts out of the long form 2 for specific players, and I didn't even get them, man. I tried to give them a whole detailed plan.
Dude,
I respect that.
Keep trying, man. Seriously, keep trying.
There's a lot of potential there for sure. I feel like manufacturers have so much that they could be working with. Like they have all these like valuable players, and even if their players like maybe aren't like a top 10, top 20 player, like you could create a storyline that makes people care. Like there's so much that could be happening that I feel like manufacturers are just not taking advantage of at all. With like a couple exceptions, I suppose, but
it's just weird too. Like, why would you not want to invest? Like, it's crazy to me that still like every manufacturer doesn't have at least one videographer, like just at every event.
Do they not?
No.
Yeah, that is just weird. Like, especially, I don't know, like it's your event or whatever, and I know normally there is some sort of presence there, but like maybe the people there are aware of what's happening there, but like viewers aside from coverage, like they have no clue, man. Like they just see what they're being shown, and there's so many cool things, I'm sure, as you know, like behind the scenes that people would eat that up. They would love it so much.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like I know like Discraft and MVP have videographers at the events they put on. But I'm with you. I mean, I don't know if you know this. I'm going on the road with Ganon to video and edit for him, and I think it's just a no-brainer for manufacturers to do the same, of just to get their team practice. Look what MVP's doing. They have Joey Tamale recording these things, and their practice rounds have been killing it. It's just like, I understand the budget is tight in some ways, but it's so hard to like know exactly budget is tight, because budget is tight, but these companies are making like hundreds of millions like a year. Some of them, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. not profit, but like gross. Like, I mean, they're making good amount in the millions. So I don't know like what the budget necessarily is when it's being tight. So like I guess I do understand, but I think that's such a good idea. Just every manufacturer just creating content of their team and just editing it. Like it brings so much more value than what you're going to pay that person, if that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm a rambler. I say like the same 7 things before I get to my point, but that's what I was trying to say.
Do you have any plans with Ganon to do content?
Yeah.
You need to do a practice round early preview. You need to have Ganon talk for as long as he can for me. I love when he says things about courses.
Okay, so that is obviously one of our plans.
Cool. I'm gonna bite that. I'm gonna use so much of that.
That's like the lowest hanging fruit. But yeah, our plan is just to get Ganon's brand on YouTube and out there more. Like, he's the number 1 player in the world, so unique, such a like charismatic, good kid, like very mature beyond the years, that it's just like we want to showcase that, just how like awesome he is and his analytical mind and stuff like that. So it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like how to throw 600 feet and like stuff like that, or just like challenges too. We're also gonna plan on doing kind of like event recaps where I'll be out there just recording some stuff here and there. And if like, I think this weekend would have been awesome to do an event recap where it's just like, I sprained my LCL in stretching, and then I wasn't sure, just taking him through the thing. I think that would have been sick for like if I was there like after he sprained it, recording him, where it's like, yeah, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna play this weekend, and then having that video come out like the next week, like of everything from going from that to almost winning. I think it's like, it's so
Has
cool.
he said that publicly, that he pulled or tore his LCL, whatever?
Sprained. Yes.
Sprained.
Yes.
Okay.
On his Instagram. Yeah, I would not be saying it if it was not.
I thought it was cool. I'm like, see, like, this is exactly what I need. I need a clip of Ganon saying that, so I top that.
No, it's on his Instagram. But yeah, he it's so funny. He's like super into like just being an athlete now, eating right, working out, stretching, and he sprained it by doing one of his stretches, which is like crazy, honestly. Like, it's not like he was doing anything wrong. He was literally like doing what you're supposed to do, and he somehow sprained it. But yeah, we plan on doing a lot of things, so you'll definitely get some clips. Whatever they are, I don't know what they're gonna be, but we're gonna be making a lot more content for him.
Also, just more people giving their opinion on stuff, I think, is only valuable, because, like you said, how it started to taper off as the year has gone on. Like you hear Goose and Ezra just give their opinion, and then I'm sure a lot of viewers will like adopt that opinion of like blank hole sucks. And then everyone's like, yeah, dude, that hole sucks. Whereas like you have more people that are like putting their opinion out there, where it's like, okay, now everyone's kind of keeping each other in check in a way, and like there's more of a discussion as opposed to like, yeah, that hole sucks, dude.
No, I like that. That's what too. Like, I want more discussion. I think that is what we're missing the most of, and you hear a lot of it from the fans somewhere, but we need more of it in like the professional side, because I just validate those opinions infinitely more than some random guy on Facebook.
Oh, totally. Well, I guess for listeners, if you haven't heard Josh this entire podcast,
I'm back.
It's because
What? He's back? How long have you been back for, bro? This man's
like
been
2
silent.
minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
2 minutes.
never mind.
Dude, you know what stinks so much though is I had so many questions for you, Jefferson, but I have no clue what you guys talked about. So I don't want to be like, oh, I have this
list
question.
List them off, and we'll tell you what's good and what's not.
Oh, dude, I had so many. They were all in my head.
Oh.
I wanted to ask you. Well, when I dropped off was when we were talking about what went down with the DGPT. Oh, okay. So I don't know how much longer we're going to talk, but I wanted to ask you this at least.
Send it.
Was at the championship last year, like we talked about. And so I went through the little like process of signing all the legal documents and whatever to, as a YouTuber at one of these events or whatever. And I read the nitty-gritty that. So were you guys on like the same pass or whatever where you had to like, okay, so I was going to ask you, you guys put a ton of like DGPT footage in your content, and I feel like, man, I could have reviewed the little document or whatever before. Was that not like, did you get approval for that? Or
Like for
I
this
feel like
year?
they said something like, I remember at one point you guys literally would run a Disc Golf Network ad in the middle of your videos. And I remember kind of seeing that in the document. Oh, wait. I actually don't know if I'm supposed to talk about the document.
Why not? Isn't it public, and can't anyone reach out for it?
I'm not sure. Whatever. We won't get into the nitty gritty. I was just going to ask you, like, is that part of the reason you think that you guys run so much footage in your videos from like Disc Golf Pro Tour? Like, did they get upset about that perhaps? Is that maybe part of the reason?
So I don't think it was, and it's not that they were upset about it. However, they did say, I guess that was another pain point of what their argument was we use so much of the footage that it wasn't necessary for us to be at events.
Interesting.
Where I would argue, one, about the beginning half of our video was all what we filmed, and two,
Yeah, I
there's
noticed.
so much more.
I noticed a lot of it was your own footage.
If
That
it's not
you
about
got
what we're
from,
talking about, yeah.
Yeah. It's just disc golf, like you just filmed, and most of the time it was smaller pros that you were highlighting
purpose.
as well. Yeah. That's, I don't know. I'm very intrigued by what went down with that. I was gonna give you props because I when you were talking about how you're kind of toning back your criticism and stuff like that, I always thought you did a good job of like, you make some more raunchy jokes and like silly things, but never about stuff that's like super legit, and like
Exactly.
if you have real criticism, you're gonna just say the real criticism in a regular way, and so I thought, I was just thinking props to you, like your funny raunchy jokes are just about random stuff, and most of the time like about something a player did or like something funny. So I don't know, like I I understand why the DGPT like got upset, but I don't think it's valid reasons, you know.
And it was stuff that if they were mad about the things we said, it wasn't that we were just all out of pocket. It's like this is all happening across disc golf social media.
Yeah,
I'm pulling
so
the
true.
Reddit posts, I'm pulling the Facebook comments that are backing up what we're saying because it's what the fans are talking about.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I really hope they give you your media credentials back. I saw Wild Run's video about how he applied for it and he was going to way less events than you and they approved it. So I just I don't understand. Like it feels backwards to me. Like there must be conversations going on behind closed doors that are making.
I know one guy really hates us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
because
know who it is?
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Because we're the worst part now. It's at the end of the podcast, so for sure it's stuffed away. Like the reason why when people were mad, because I saw a bunch of comments from pros too that were like, well, they kind of talk mad trash about them, so it makes sense. Where it's like we really toned it up when we had like a business thing in plans, and then that couldn't have happened because of some influence on the DGPT side. And it was like, if you're gonna take the money out of my pocket, I'm gonna say a little bit more mean jokes.
Yeah.
So
We're obviously like we keep saying this year after year that like Disc Golf Pro Tour and all this stuff is in its fledgling states. So like that's still a valid excuse, but at a certain point, like we got to figure it out, you know, like there's got to be some system in place for it to blow up and be good. And I think having you guys there as like a news network or like, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but being affiliated with Disc Golf Network in some form or fashion, I think could be very beneficial and very great for our sport. So I hate to see that you guys aren't going to be out there touring. Obviously, I saw your videos are still just as high quality, but I'm sure there would be more stuff maybe if you were actually on the road.
definitely be a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
A lot cooler stuff. It's
I
unfortunate.
think personally, like, is there a plan? Because I think you guys could work with the Pro Tour. Like, yes, it would mean not talking badly about them, I guess, at all, maybe if you were working with them or even as much. But so that's tough. I don't really know like what the solution is there. But like I think you guys would be very valuable to them if it was just like covering. I don't know. It's hard because I know you guys are like our Swiss said in the video, he was like, you guys have owe no partnerships, or you have no partnerships that you owe to anyone that would cause you not to give your honest truth or something like that. But sometimes like you might like in life, you just have to do that, kind of just like hold back and for certain things. Is there like would that ever be a plan? Like if say the Pro Tour reach out to you like, hey, we want you on tour, but we want you to be like the official media kind of YouTube of the Pro Tour. Is that something you'd ever be interested? But given you'd have to obviously like bring back the Pro Tour did this takes. It'd be more so like covering what went on. I don't know. I think that'd be.
I would need more give than just you're allowed to record here. Just tone back what I'd do. Especially if they're not gonna let me record leader chase, like I'd rather just do it at home.
Okay, give as like more access. Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think because like I think you guys could work with the Pro. I mean, the Pro Tour is the Pro Tour. They are like the number one overarching figure of disc golf. Like they're the big bosses. They can do whatever they want. You know, that type thing. And I think like sometimes you just have to play along with the Pro Tour and to do media. I don't know. I'm just trying to think for you of like what, or is that something you it doesn't really matter? Like you don't need to be on tour. That's what I'm trying to get to. Like does it not? It doesn't really not matter at all that being on tour isn't that much of a differential.
Yeah, I think I've gotten to the point where if this is what I get for the right, like if this is my involvement in disc golf and professional disc golf, I'm kind of cool with it, even if it is just at home, because like I'm 23. I have like big plans, like to continue to like do my own things in disc golf, and I think that we're gonna create our own, not like league per se, but like a little like mini tour, whatever, that we can just have our own like production on it. Like it's definitely like
That's
we want to
cool.
do something doubles. We want to do like a 4-week doubles thing, but like in between the weeks, like the days leading up, it's more interaction and like fun stuff with to do with the fans, kind of like what Go Throw does, but not to the scale that they're at.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, have you thought about doing like reaching out to Go Throw and being like super affiliated with them? You know, like obviously they're kind of
That's true.
trying to compete with the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
I don't know
and,
they're
you know,
competing.
yeah,
I think
don't
that's been
know.
misconstrued.
Yeah, okay. I'm saying kind of. Like I understand
Sure.
that they're not like we're going to take over. But like
Yeah.
obviously the Pro Tour and the PDGA has tried to distance themselves by literally not even sanctioning the events, you know? And like I don't know. I was just wondering like I feel like there might be an opportunity there for you guys to step in and be like what the Pro Tour won't let you do, like maybe Go Throw would let you do, and you know you could get way more in the nitty gritty on those events than you ever were allowed to on the Pro Tour. Is that
Yeah.
something you guys have thought about at all?
Definitely thought about it. Would love to do it, and we actually have pretty good relationships with like the Go Throw guy. Like they're awesome. They always let me stay in their Airbnbs, and Luke is like, I always talk to everyone like he's my tour dad. Like he made sure that I was safe everywhere. So I think that was always something we really want to do. It's just their events are more like not like it's still like I can't just go to Texas for Hideaway. I can't just go to Arkansas. Like I got my job to do, and it's not very close, so it just doesn't make a whole lot of like sense. But like it would be cool one day, like to just because they're this have such different point system that I feel is you did this to be unique, and it was kind of cool, but you're not showcasing it in any type of way. You can't even see the bonus points for the Eagles, Aces participation. Where it's like, why is this a part of like this point series if no one can follow along with it? Where like I think that's a perfect point for Disc Golf World on their Monday recaps to be like, and here's the point total. They can see the breakdown. That's the value that I think that we could bring to stuff like this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I agree with
that
you.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I feel like that's a podcast at this point.
It was a podcast.
That was a podcast.
I'm so sad I missed half of it. I really I'll
that
have
was
to
nice.
listen back.
Jay Millie, thanks for joining us on this podcast. I'm just playing.
Dude, literally, just so you guys know, while my Wi-Fi was out, I went and filled out a thing to change my provider, so I'm better Wi-Fi.
That's
Literally, that was
incredible.
what I spent most of the time doing while I was
You
not
were
on the
so
podcast.
frustrated.
Let's
That's funny.
go, dude.
It's been in and out for like the last 2 months, so I'm just over it. I'm ready to move on. But
Let's
dude,
go.
Jefferson, thanks for coming on. We love your stuff. Thanks for being a friend of the pod. We'll have to have you on at some other point because I'm sure you'll keep doing big things in the sport, and we'd love to chat as your journey in disc golf continues. But dude, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a fun time.
Yes.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks for coming, Jeff. Fonzie.
Funsie.
Oh wait. Oh, I thought that was the outro. You want to outro it, Sajko?
No, we're chilling.
All right, give us a
Fonzie.
Fonzie, Jeff.
Just say Funsie.
Fonzie.
I'm not doing that way.
I feel
You can
I
just
feel
say
you.
it. You can just say
Funsie.
it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Bye.